Hi, this is Abram KJ of Words on the Word blog, and I'm going to show you how to read a book in Accordance Bible software. There are four really cool features that I want to point out that make reading a book in Accordance not only enjoyable but really convenient. You can quite quickly and in an advanced but intuitive way access any and all information you could possibly want from a book in a way that certainly exceeds what's possible in print, and that also exceeds what you can do in Kindle, other e-readers, and even other Bible software programs. So first, I just want to point out how well hyperlinked resources in Accordance are. As you were scrolling through the table of contents, this is a new resource here. It's the interpretation commentary just came out in Accordance this week. It covers the entire Bible, and there is also this monograph series, new in recent years, the last couple of years. This one is on biblical prophecy by Ellen Davis. So as I'm reading this book and scrolling through, all of the contents are hyperlinked. So if I wanted to see this Destroyers of the Earth, prophetic critiques of imperial economics, I could just click on the hyperlinked section in the table of contents. If I want to go back, this back arrow will take me right back to where I was. That may not be surprising because that exists in Kindle and other such e-readers, but what's especially useful in Accordance is that the scripture references are hyperlinked. And so, as you're reading through, often you'll see Ellen Davis will quote the verse that she references, but sometimes she won't. Here she just says, as the story is told, 2 Kings 22, 8 through 20. Well, you may notice that my instant details, just by my hovering over this reference, the instant details are giving me the references there, pulling them up. I don't even have to click on them, although I certainly could if I wanted to see 2 Kings 22, 1. I could see it in a new zone. I could even click on Show All Text to read that passage in context, all while leaving my book open here. So the Bible verses are hyperlinked really well. Bibliographic information is also hyperlinked, so you can see either by clicking on it and getting to that point in the book, or just by hovering over it again, it will come up in the instant details. Anything that is blue and underlined is eligible, as it were, to show up in your instant details. If you're looking at a paragraph that has a lot of Bible references, which is not uncommon in a book like this, you can, of course, just quickly hover over every one, and you can see how instantaneously they're showing up. But you can also command click on one of those verses. I'm on a Mac, so I command click on Isaiah 6:3, and what I get in the window next to me here now is not just Isaiah 6:3, but every hyperlinked verse in this paragraph. So you'll see Psalm 36:9, it's right here, 42:1, 63:1, they're here. Here's Isaiah 6:3, which I could have just clicked to see solo, but command clicking gives me all of the verses in that paragraph, so I don't even have to go through them individually. So that's hyperlinking. That's the first major feature that makes books in Accordance really souped up. Everything is hyperlinked really well. The table of contents is also easy to access and keep open with you as you scroll through the book. And so this icon here just opens and closes your table of contents. You can choose how you want to have it. But it's really great to be able to keep that pane open as you're working your way through the text. And as you do that, it's going to follow you here. It's The highlighting bar here will follow wherever you are in the text. All of these disclosure triangles can be expanded and collapsed so you can see different levels of detail, topics, and themes. And so you could do a quick browse through the subjects of the book just using this content sidebar and then click to where you want to go from there. So I find that useful, even though I take it for granted since I've gotten so accustomed to it in Accordance. So there's good hyperlinking. There's an easy to navigate table of contents sidebar that you can always keep open without affecting where you are in the text, or using it to take you right to that part in the text. So the table of contents is the second feature. The third feature that I want to point out is search fields, and you can search your book according to these search fields. Search fields vary from resource to resource. If you think of a basic Google search, it's going to be something like English content. So if I want to see every time Ellen Davis mentions Jeremiah, I'm going to get 203 hits, and I can navigate with the hit arrows or a keyboard shortcut on a Mac. It's Command Option down or up. And so I can see every time she mentions Jeremiah by name, about him. But if I wanted times that Davis was quoting Jeremiah or referencing the book of Jeremiah, I would change that search field to scripture. And now instead of 203 hits, looks like I've got 396. So if I wanted to narrow it down, maybe I am studying just the first chapter of Jeremiah. I can type in Jeremiah 1, I'll get 15 hits. I've narrowed my search in a way that just a single, like a web search could not really ever do, because I've got this search field. I've narrowed it to scripture, Jeremiah 1. I've got 15 hits, and now I can work my way through those examples. All of those, of course, as we pointed out earlier, are hyperlinked. You could search by transliteration, so any Hebrew or Greek word under consideration. If you happen to have one in mind that was used in the prophets, for example, shalom, you can search that and it will give it to you because you've selected the transliteration search field, and because of the way that Accordance develops these modules, it will tell you every time shalom is used as a transliterated Hebrew word. If you didn't know what you were looking for and were just curious, you could right click in the search entry bar here and go to enter word, and that dot 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 indicates that you've got another pop-up coming. And here is a complete list of all of the Greek and Hebrew words that are transliterated in this book. And you can select them and search them all at once, or you could just select one word and search it. So maybe you want to do a search on love and its Greek agape and other derivatives. And so you could just go here and select agapao and agape and run your search there and work your way through the three results, which is not very much in this case. Bibliography is a search field, so you can search by an author or some work that Ellen Davis references. The title search will basically pull up anything that would show in the table of contents. So if you are looking up Jeremiah in this resource, of course you can search him by English content or by scripture to look at his book, but the titles will take you, they'll give you some indication of where she really talks about Jeremiah. So here, Jeremiah's laments, the felt reality of loss. Here, the word Jeremiah, of course, comes up in a heading, and so that is useful. The titles search field, and then page numbers, just what it says. You can type in a page number, and it will take you right to it, which is useful for if you were in a Bible study, perhaps with other people who have a print book, or if you are coming to Ellen Davis from another book that references her, you can just type in the page number and it will take you right there. So hyperlinks is the first thing. This expandable, collapsible table of contents here, the different search fields. And then one other thing, and this gets a little bit more advanced, that you can do is from a book in accordance, you can work your way out from the book itself into all your other resources in accordance really easily. Even if you stopped here, I think there's already a ton that you can do with this book to make your way through it efficiently and to easily find the information that you want. But if you were, let's just go back to Jeremiah here, and let's go back to that section on his laments. If you were reading this through and wondering, for example, about some of these words that, or some of these names, some of these characters that come up with Jeremiah, maybe you wanted to look at the historical background, and you could see Zedekiah is going to get mentioned pretty soon here. And instead of scrolling through, I'm just going to do an English content search for Zedekiah. So here's Zedekiah. We're talking about the 10th year of Zedekiah in Jeremiah 32:1. And if I want to do some research on Zedekiah, I can just click on Zedekiah, and from this book on biblical prophecy, I can use what's called Amplify. It's Accordance's word for search from something in something else. So I can go to my commentaries, and in fact, I could search Zedekiah in my interpretation commentary, and it's going to pull up the interpretation commentary. Here it is. It's got me in Second Chronicles 36. It pulled him up in a title, which is useful. I could even change that and search my interpretation commentary with a different search field. I could do English content to see every time Zedekiah appears in the interpretation commentary anywhere. But the titles field, I'm glad it defaulted to that, because now I've gone from wondering perhaps who is this Zedekiah in this book I was reading, to seeing Zedekiah and the fall of Jerusalem in Second Chronicles 36, which in fact is going to be quite helpful for my understanding what's going on in this paragraph. If I wanted to be even more thorough, I could just right click on Zedekiah. I could go to research, and I could research all of my commentaries at once, and it pulls up all of my commentaries mention of Zedekiah. I could also right click and I could research all of my texts, which will be my Bible texts, and I could very quickly see all the times that he's mentioned in any of these texts, which I can then open up in its new zone and really have some fun digging into and figuring out who is this guy, where is he mentioned, what's going on with him. All started with a little bit of curiosity from this one paragraph. So that's the fourth, and I think perhaps most advanced feature in books in accordance, is that not only is everything hyperlinked, not only can you easily make your way through the different section headings, not only can you search it according to field, but you can get from your book content easily to all the other content in your library that will help you make more sense of what you're reading in any given book. Thanks so much for watching.